Of divine beings, peace, love, abundance, blessings. I'm going to continue doing the Kemetic channelings, the Kemetic readings, and see what Spirit has to say today. So let's see. We're going to call upon the Egyptian Netzeru, the divine Egyptian gods, seeing what messages need to come up, calling upon the higher spirits, higher consciousness. So today we actually have Nekhbet, who is an embodiment of the vulture. She is the goddess of protection when it's almost time for war. Nekhbet was one of the goddesses that came forward with Ra when he would sail in his battles across the cosmos. So what this is representing is a time of standing up for yourself. Nekhbet is a vulture, but remember that vultures don't have negative connotations when it comes to Kemetic to Egyptian spirituality. Nekhbet represents a strong, fierce, crone, elder, divine feminine force, and this talks about the primordial energies that we have on earth. This talks about earth as a primordial being, and I've said this in my channel a bunch of times. The beings that look dark, the beings that are demonized, that look scary, are the ones that you want to actually look into and decode the sacred science about. And these deities are going to have a serious presence to them, but that's because their energy is not to be disrespected. However, they don't come with maleficent intention. They don't come with malice. They come with the intention of helping those who are ready, helping those who are able. So if you've actually been seeing vultures, then this is a confirmation that this is for you. But the message that I'm getting right off the bat from Nekhbet is stand up for yourself, and also don't be afraid to be the outsider. Don't be afraid to not be understood. Don't be afraid to stick out. Like, to me, what she's saying is that all that you need is within you. All that you need is within self. And when it comes to spirituality, sometimes in this path, right, like, we'll feel these high, strong energies, and then sometimes we'll feel low again. And what Nekhbet is saying is that so long as you're honest and true to you, everything moves in a flow. Everything moves with speed. Everything moves with velocity. I'm going to pull some cards and see if there's any other messages we can get from the Kemetic Netzeru, from Nekhbet, the primordial goddess, the vulture goddess. We have the moon coming up, the Seven of Swords, and the Knave of Chalices, followed by the Hierophant. So I'm going to show you all the cards, the moon and the Seven of Swords. Immediately what I'm getting about this is like a reflection on relationships, a reflection on which relationships are serving you and which ones aren't. And I'm getting the sense of like a reset. While I'm filming this in July 2023. We do have the North Node moving into Aries for July 2023 all the way to January 2025. So if you're watching this around that time, even though this is a timeless reading, that's his emphasis with Aries in the North Node, an emphasis on self, an emphasis on no longer compromising, an emphasis on not being in relationships for just the path of safety and security, but instead understanding that when all your relationships are genuine, you move with a higher state of frequency, meaning that things will manifest faster for you. But if you are still in relationships where you have to dim yourself down, then you're not going to go far in this life. You're not going to excel. You're not going to succeed forward. So then the next card that we have is the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords speaks about conflict, battle, war, and this talks about this anxiety to not be yourself, this anxiety of hiding down the throat chakra. And I feel like for some of you who are watching this, Nekhbet is saying stand up for yourself. Some of you might even be able to work with her if you feel a call to her, or if you feel the need to be stronger in your own authority. We even have the Hierophant here. Even though the Hierophant is represented as a masculine energy, the crone mother is also an aspect of the Hierophant, and that is the divine feminine representation of the Hierophant. The Hierophant represents an elder. To me, this is talking about those of you who are tied to Kemetics, who are tied to these ancient deities. You have different lives. You have multiple lives. You have multiple past lives, and this life is no different from that, where you're going to unlock all of your spiritual gifts. There has to be patience with this, though, resilience with this, and I'm hearing like the ability to be alone to even get the messages, the ability to be alone to listen to these guides, to connect to these higher beings, the ability to be alone to look at your past lives, to go into your own Akashic records. For some of you, I'm hearing like, if you want to amplify your rituals, she's saying work with the crystal Merlinite. Merlinite will help you amplify your rituals. For those of you who want to hear more of your past lives or see more into your Akashic records, which is your soul records, work with Herkimer Diamond. I wish I had those stones with me, but I am traveling, so I don't have them with me right now. Then we have the Knave of Cups, which is talking about going into your own cup, going into your own spirit, going into your own higher consciousness. This talks about everything that you need is within you. So the reason why Nekhbet came forward with the message about relationships is that you don't need anybody but yourself, and that's just the honest truth. And you need your spirits, you need your connection to source. This doesn't mean that you're going to be alone for the rest of your life, but I'm getting the sense for those of you watching this that you're at a crossroads with somebody, or you might be feeling a need to socially unplug, and I recommend that for you. I recommend that absolutely for you, all right? I'm going to pull 2 more cards and call this a day. I feel like the message is clear. Know who's really in your circle. Stop trying to be, I guess, the sense of like people pleasing. Stop trying to be in that. We have the 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords is about anxiety and grief. Feeling like death is approaching when it's not. It's almost like, imagine yourself in your highest state with the sun here. Imagine yourself in your most optimal state with the sun card here and looking at this person staring up at the heavens, staring up at the cosmos. This talks about going to spirit, going to source. And if you don't know what spirit guides you work with, then going to your higher self, calling upon source energy, calling upon universal energy, that's going to help you, that's going to support you, that's going to uplift you. And I just get the energy of like battle, but it's a battle of you being in your truest power, you being in your truest state, not being afraid of being an outsider. This really gives me the energy of Nekhbet and, you know, other goddesses that can be similar. And I don't mean similar that they're the same, but in terms of having this embodiment of I walk alone and I don't care, would be Lilith, would be Kalima, would be Hecate, where they walk in their own path, and what they offer those who work with them, the children who work with them, the people who work with them, is that you are going to learn to be by yourself. You are going to learn to stand in your uniqueness. You are going to learn to stand in your power and not be afraid of it. With the 10 of Cups here, this talks about relationships that are true, that are everlasting. And to me, this talks about you being in your higher self, you being incorporated into your spirituality. Don't have a lack consciousness with it, meaning that you think that now you're going to be isolated because of it. People aren't not going to understand you. People are going to think you're weird. Instead, be open to the possibility that you're actually going to meet others like you, others who are tapped into earth consciousness, who are tapped into higher frequencies, who are tapped into universal frequencies, all right? That was your message for y'all. I hope this was of resonance and support. Again, this is a channel message from the goddess Nekhbet, who is seen with vultures. Vultures are beings that actually represent both protection for the living and protection for the dead. This also talks about somebody who could be a psychopump. So that a psychopump is basically those who can be able to connect with the dead. That might be you. That might be you. Maybe you have had somebody cross over who you've seen in visions or felt or you talked to in dreams. Like, don't be afraid of those powers. Don't be afraid of your own magic. Don't be afraid of your own alchemy. Don't be afraid of your own spirituality, because when you learn to embrace it, when you give time to understand it, to hear it, to listen to it, to respond to it, that is when you activate your truest power, and that is when you have a higher self connection now being embodied in your physical body and your physical experience. So now you feel more confident, you feel more joyful, you are walking in this earthly state with your magical powers. And that's the whole point of spirituality, which is to bring your spiritual awareness down into the physical and have your physical life change, be more abundant, be more rich, be more successful, be more joyful, be more connected, be more in the frequency of love, in harmony with nature, with earth, the divine. All right, that's the whole purpose of spirituality. So again, y'all, look into Nekhbet. She might be a guide for you, for those of you watching. She is amazing, and if y'all want a video on her, then I can do that too. I really respect the Egyptian primordial gods, because there's certain gods that are seen and represented, but there's so many others, especially the primordial ones, that are very powerful and not a joke to work with, but also offer so much wisdom, love, and care. All right, thank y'all for tuning in. If y'all want to get a personal reading with me, how to do so is in the about below. I offer Akashic record readings, and if you want to follow me on social media, how to do so is on the about below. Stay beautiful, stay abundant, stay great. And if you like this deck, how to find it, this is the Kemetic Book of Doors. How to find it is on the about shopping reading list. All right, stay abundant, y'all.